Okay. This is our first song. This is our first podcast.
Yeah.
Inhale.
Yeah.
Okay, this kind of
Ang intimate namin, so lapit na.
Oh, ang lapit na. Why can't we closer? Yes. All right.
Start the podcast!
Woo! 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 Hello guys, welcome to Saga Studio. I am Raphael Goño and I'll be your host today. And here joined with me today is my very, very guapo co-host,
Justin Kua!
Oh! If you guys don't know what Saga is, I have Justin to explain what Saga is for you guys.
Well, Saga stands for the Social Academic Guild for Architecture, the official recognized professional collegiate organization founded for students of architecture program in the LaSalle College of St. Benilde.
Yes. And if you guys don't know what Saga's doing right now, we're doing Saga Studio. So Saga Studio is a look into Benildean architecture, and it is a podcast series that takes into account different perspectives in the architecture field to create insightful conversations and discussion that aims to aspire students. What are you doing? Aspire students in architecture and in their pursuit of the architectural practice while highlighting the Benildean experience. Our first ever pilot episode will be discussing studying architecture in Benilde as a Frosh. And today we'll be joined by different year level students in architecture in Benilde right now. And let's introduce our guests. So let's start off with
The one-to-one.
our Froshest Frosh here today.
Yes.
Today we are joined by
Introduce yourself, come on.
Hi, my name is Ysabel Dy-Liacco. Ayun lang. So I'm a one-to-one Frosh, taking architecture, obviously. And I'm excited kung ano yung mga tanong natin for today.
Ooh. And next we have Razi Abella.
Hi, I'm Razi. I'm technically 119, but I shifted from ID, so technically I'm also 118. But yeah, I'm super excited to talk about my experiences and hear about other experiences as well.
Yes.
Ooh.
Ooh. And now we have Kim. We have Kim Basabe joining us here today from ID.
118. Hi, my name is Kim. I'm ID 118. You said. Yeah.
And our last but not least,
So they get an introduction.
last but not least, we have Daud So.
Hi, I'm Daud, ID 119, but I'm here to talk about how it is being Frosh and a student leader.
Yes.
Yes.
So as you can see, we have a wide variety of guests here today talking about their Frosh experience from different batch levels. Some students were able to experience a face-to-face setting, and our Frosh right here, right now, Iya, was able to experience studying architecture during an online setting during this pandemic. So we also have the experience of one of our guests who was a shiftee from a different course in Benilde as well, who chose to go to Archi from industrial design. So definitely a different perspectives from everyone here.
Definitely.
All right. So let's talk about our first topic today. Let's talk about the highlights of their Frosh experience. So let's start off with our most experienced guest here, Kim Basabe. So Kim, can you share to us your most embarrassing, most memorable experience as a Frosh in Benilde?
No.
Okay, that's it for today.
That's it for today.
Okay, so it's not so much an embarrassing moment, but it really set the tone for my Frosh year and like an Archi student in general. Okay, so I moved into my condo like a day before interactive. And then the day of interactive, I was getting ready and I was taking pictures of myself thinking I was early. And then I came to Benilde, I was already 40 minutes late. But then the most embarrassing part about that is just I live across the street. So I really had no excuse. And then I called my mom, I was like, Mom, I was an hour late. Pinagalitan niya ako because she said like, we paid for the condo for you to be late. And then, ayun, parang because I was late on the first day, parang hindi ko na natanggal sa system ko na being late. Every single time I was late, so ayun. It's Okay, it's embarrassing after all. Sorry. Yeah, but
Oh
yeah,
my God.
I'm not like that
So
anymore.
if you guys don't know, Interactive is like the starting off event for Frosh students to be welcomed into Benilde. And I guess it's like what kicks off the academic year for all the Frosh to experience like different people and the different areas of Benilde. And you're an hour late. How were you able to catch up?
Oh, they were still there, and then like when I got there, like they were about to start the tour of the campuses, so I made it just in time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Not late after
So
all.
Yeah,
guys,
late after
learn from his mistake. Don't be late for Interactive because you might miss out on a lot.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you also, Kid, why did you go Benilde and why architecture?
Oh my god, I was not prepared. Okay, actually, like I applied to other schools as well. Benilde was my
First choice.
option. Yeah, but then-
First option.
First option, yes. I decided to go to Benilde because, firstly, my uncle used to work there, so parang he recommended Benilde as like a space na parang I belong to. I don't know why.
Ooh.
Maybe he was implying something. I don't know. Pero I also wanted the freedom that Benilde offers in terms of uniform. Hindi, pati I think the creativity aspect is very parang unique to Benilde. Parang hindi ako nape-pressure na parang kailangan I need to be good at this, I need to be good at that because it's gonna be cultivated
That's
within
true.
the school itself. Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah.
I truly believe in that because studying in Benilde is very much of a creative space. I would say Benilde really goes into the innovation side to be
Yeah.
extraordinary. Like the slogan says, be extraordinary, right?
Yeah.
That's
Which
what the
Benilde
slogan.
really truly does. Kim tuloy. Daud Kim So. Daud, can you share also your most embarrassing and memorable experience as a Frosh when you came into Benilde?
You know, there's a lot of embarrassing memories for me. Not that.
Ibang usapan na yun.
I guess if you ask me what my most embarrassing was, but it's also during Interactive actually. So the organizer said, would anyone like to volunteer to lead the cheer? So I was like, oh yeah, sure. I have the perfect cheer in my head. And they were like, oh yeah, sure, we want to hear it. So I said, malaki ang aming P. Malaki ang aming P. Puso. But then everyone was like, just dumbfounded. And I was just like, and then my response to them just looking at me was like, malaki ang aming last T. Tiyaga. But then nobody was able to repeat that. And I was like, I feel warm. I feel embarrassed. But I guess that's memorable for me because after that I noticed more people just kept reaching out to me thinking that, oh, this is someone I could probably ask for help. And apparently that helped me become a student leader because when people find you, you help them find the things they need to reach.
Ooh, those leadership tips from.
But another embarrassing moment for me was, you know how you're an arty student, you carry models, you carry supplies. Sometimes you can't help that the elevator is congested, but you need to get to your room. So there was this one time I carried a bunch of stuff, but I was facing the crowd in the elevator and my butt was facing the door. You know, we have to keep ourselves healthy, not just through sleep, but through food. So apparently that was obvious because when the door closed, my butt got stuck in the door. It wouldn't close because it kept hitting it. And then I asked everyone, sorry, can you make space? Because my big butt is stuck. And a stranger just said, sana all my puwet.
Packing cake.
Oh my god! If you guys don't know, the only way to go up and down SDA or what is it called, Design and Arts campus right now.
Yeah,
For
that.
for our course, because for our campus, you can only use either the staircase, which is all the way to the 14th floor, which is kind of hard,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you have to take the only 3 elevators available.
Yeah.
And so the elevators are not that big, so
Yeah.
I understand how tight it might be.
Especially if it's like a morning class. But
The lines get
like
really long.
8 a.m. So
You
you
have
have
to wake
no
up really
choice
early.
to use the the staircase na lang. Tapos,
Magdala ka ng extra shirt.
tapos like uneven pa yung height ng levels eh.
Oh,
So like
yeah.
some floors have more stairs than others. So when
Oh yeah.
but yung class mo is in the 14th, uwis ka.
Kailangan ko ata ng papel. Okay, I'm
Oo.
taking notes.
Yeah. So that's a very good experience for face-to-face for our online setting student right here. And then let's go to
Yeah.
Razi.
God, my
Razi, what was your most memorable and I would say highlight of your Frosh year?
Alam mo, this eh.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like my most memorable is definitely like meeting Raph.
Oh yeah, I'm Raph by the way.
No, not gonna lie, because like it's coming from as a shifty, perspective. It was like really weird, because like I didn't come into Archie having blockmates. I didn't have like my own section. So I only had like classes with a few couple students that I know. So one of them was Raph, and
Yeah.
actually is Gab too. So during my first week, I noticed that I was classmates with them in
Yeah.
my other sections. So it became memorable for me, and especially my first week, because that's how I got to bond with Raph.
Yeah.
We we bonded through our shared frustration of being shifties.
Yeah.
Not being prioritized, I guess, in a sense, because we couldn't get some of the classes that we should have taken in our first year. So yun nga, it's a fun and like frustrating
Yeah,
experience.
it was a
to
very
say the
fun
least.
experience, and
Yeah.
because of the scenario we were in, we actually really bonded really close to become
Wow.
really close friends through
Yeah.
our Archie experience. And right now through Saga,
Mm.
we're bonded again, and
Yeah.
even with Gab behind the camera right now, Gab behind the camera.
Yeah.
So we're bonded with him again also. So it
Mm.
was a very nice experience
Yeah.
being friends with Razi. And then let's go to Iya, our Frosh here, our current Frosh. So what was your highlight or most memorable experience being a Frosh in Benilde right now, especially since it's an online setting?
Mm.
Ayan. So, actually, well, syempre online setting. Tapos kayo parang mostly face-to-face. Sana all. Pero, for me, it's also interactive. Kasi, di ba may groups yan? Like, each section may groups. Tapos, pumunta kami sa breakout room. And then, after ng activities ng ginagawa namin, sabi nung facilitator, sabi niya na, okay, sige, pili kayo ng representative para ma-explain yung ginagawa nyo, kung ano ginagawa nyo so far, para reflection, ganun. Tapos, ako sabi ko, sige, bahala na sila. Sila na mag-explain, pagod na ako. Tapos, like, hindi ko sa pagod, parang tinatamad lang. Tinatamad lang mag-explain. Pero maya-maya, tahimik sila. Tapos sabi ko, uy, mag-explain naman kayo. Ayoko naman admit na ako. Ako na lang po. Yes. Tapos ayun, ang daming tao doon sa pagbalik namin sa main room. After I explain, parang nagustuhan talaga ng mga yung 120 or 119, yung mga sagot ko, how I explain, yung sinasabi ko na mga inspiring quotes, gano'n. Kaya sabi ng mga ates at kuya, parang yes, may Miss Universe na tayo. Sabi ko, Diyos ko po. Nag-volunteer lang. Pero yun lang naman lang.
Can I ask you also, from an online setting, how did you come to choose Benilde and why did you choose architecture?
Oh my God, may family. Okay, sige, why Benilde? Kasi I heard that it has a friendly environment and mental health friendly. So sabi ko, sige, try ko nga lang. Sige. Sige, I'll also try to apply here. And I also want to take architecture kasi ang dami ko nakikitang architects and yung designs nila na napaka-abstract, napaka-weird, and they turned it into real life. So parang napaisip ako na, uy, paano nila ginawa yan? I really want to know how. Yun.
So is it your curiosity in being creative that drove you to architecture?
Yes.
And then like the environment of Benilde, you think you would grow in?
Yes.
Parang nasuit one-to-one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely something Benilde offers. Creativity and like wellness. But I guess in architecture it's a bit different. It's a little bit more stressful in architecture.
But
But yeah.
pag final results,
Yeah, definitely the conclusion of
Satisfaction.
everything it really gets together.
Yeah. So I've heard all of your highlights in like, parang medyo like start of the day, start of being Frosh. What about experience as a whole? Like as Frosh, like how was it, for the audience at home or like whoever there, curious lang. Let's start with Razi, since you're the one looking at me.
Wait,
How was
like,
your experience overall?
overall as a Frosh? Maybe like, I guess in my archi time na, I guess, like, as I mentioned, like, it was very, like, turbulent, to say the least, kasi, Raph and I couldn't get our classes
Yeah, that's true.
in time, I guess, so we're really delayed in terms of like our graduation. So like, so on top of not graduating in time with the 118s, technically, we're supposed to graduate with the 119s, but we couldn't get the prerequisites for art desks.
Right.
So we were heavily delayed. So to say the least, it's very turbulent, but like, we're now at that point where things are more stable now. So yeah, but like my experiences or like my experience with Raph is not the same for everybody's naman, I can't say it's the same for like, let's say, Daud, so yeah, I mean, to say the least, it's turbulent, yeah, but like we managed to get through it naman. We're now way better off, to say the least.
That's true.
Yeah.
So actually, nung senior high school, wala talaga ako na tuto na kung paano gumamit ng SketchUp, yung mga Adobe,
Same.
diba? And kailangan ko pa talaga na manood pa sa YouTube, ganun. My overall experience, sige, let's start with the bad.
Roller coaster.
Yes.
Turbulent actually.
For the bad one, syempre, I've experienced some parang mga difficulties like, ayun nga, not having knowledge about SketchUp, mga architecture applications, ganun. And of course, mga Adobe Photoshop, ganun. And pero the good thing is, I've met some friends na they're really understandable, tapos they're really helpful.
That's good.
Ayan, pati mga 120, ganon, 121. And I'm really glad, ayun nga, just like what I said before, na Benilde is a friendly environment. So, dun ko nakita talaga na, oh, yan, daming friendly people, ganon, are helpful people. And I'm really glad. And also the profs then, they're also understandable when it comes to, like, situations, mga personal situations, ganun. And of course, ang gusto ko dun is, they really, like, support their students. Kaya mo yan, ganun.
Kaya. Got this! Saga
Yes,
strong!
Saga
Saga
strong.
strong!
Yeah.
Definitely a culture we're joining. Let's go on to Kim.
Inhale, exhale.
Exhale.
Yeah, not so much good or bad, pero I'm gonna continue the vibe na sinabi ni Iya. When I was a Frosh, I was thinking parang, oh my gosh, I got this. I come from a design school. Tapos parang, like, I'm gonna be the top student. Parang ganun. But like, as everyone knows, I'm not at all the top student. And parang it hit me hard, kind of. Because an example of this is, I took design communications, which is now architectural visual communications in like in my third term. Tapos it was to design floor plans in AutoCAD. Tapos I was like, okay, I do Sims. sabi ko, I can do this in Sims in like an hour. I can finish this within this time frame. Tapos I realized I don't know anything about AutoCAD. So parang like since I was a transferee technically, I didn't have anyone in the block to talk to kasi nalipat ako sa kabilang block. And then, I thought everyone else was struggling. So I was like, okay, it's fine. Like, everyone's struggling. Lahat naman tayo dito, Frosh. Tapos pagtaligad ko, may mga nagpapakonsol na, sir, yung second floor po. Sir, yung roof. Sabi ko, hala, wala pa akong door. Sabi ko, wala akong entrance. So parang it really hit me hard na parang like my delusional confidence of being like, oh, I'm from a design school. I'm gonna be so amazing at this. I'm gonna get 100 every single time. It really didn't happen for me. So parang it really wasn't like a bad experience because like I learned na parang I shouldn't act like that. Because in Benilde, like especially like the culture and like the environment is very diverse. So parang it's bound to happen na someone else is gonna be better than you. I just didn't expect that many people. I just didn't expect that many people. Sobrang na-humble. Like after that, like I came in like knowing everything. Tapos parang after that, my approach is like, oh, I don't know anything. You should teach me every single thing. Pero yan. Pero now, I'm okay, but still not the top. I didn't learn my lesson. I'm still growing. Pero, did that answer the question?
It did.
Sige, yan.
Basically, be open-minded.
Yeah, be open-minded and be like able to still learn.
Yeah, actually also parang allow yourself to talk to people even if you're even if they're not your friends, because especially kunyari yung kay Razi, I can experience that a little bit because of me being a technical term transferee because of my university under my name. Pero ayun, like at the first 2 terms I was alone without my block. Parang it was so hard to manage because I wasn't talking to anyone at all. Tapos parang when my previous blockmates were asking me, oh, kamusta? I was like, oh, okay, everything's fine. Like it's so good. Parang ang dami kong natututunan.
But everything's burning out.
Everything's from YouTube. Pero ayun, kinanta ko na lang sa kanila afterwards nung natapos na kasi hindi naman ako bumagsak, di ba? So ayun.
It's very important to be open-minded.
Yeah.
And like be willing to network with your classmates because they'll definitely help you like pass your classes and really learn. Because it's like something Razi might be good at and maybe something I'm bad at.
Yeah.
And vice versa, and we can help each other in that aspect.
Yeah.
So it's very important to definitely
Teamwork.
to have teamwork. Like what Iya was able to accomplish was trying to reach out to her blockmates and make new friends, and even in Saga where she was able to join us oldies.
So young.
Chill.
So
1 year
young,
old,
son.
1 year old, chill. Around 2 years.
Ako 2 years.
But for you, Daud, as a student leader and like, how's your Frosh experience?
I'm having flashbacks because when you're a student leader, even before college, even if you were a student leader in senior high and high school, there's this constant need to feel like you need to contribute to the community.
Yeah.
So that idea of you having to contribute drives you na parang, oh, let me join student government, let me join Red Cross, let me join Saga, my home org, let me join other advocacy orgs. So parang, oh yeah, I felt unstoppable no Frosh ako.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a
strong.
Yeah.
But that's the problem there, because even though my highest was I felt unstoppable because I was achieving DL, but then I was also managing my time blocking for orgs. Because we all know Friday is the org day. And so in the morning, I'd be in CSG. By lunch, I'd be at Red Cross. At afternoon, I'd be at Saga helping with the cleaning. But, but then the worst came after. Because as someone, I mean, yes, I'm a student leader, but also I'm a student who lives far from his family. So I'm originally from Visayas, and then I moved to Manila by myself, had to find my own dorm, had to take care of my own papers and even my enrollment. And then, yes, that contributes to the mentality that, oh, I'm unstoppable. If you're a Frosh and you enter a new environment, you'll feel unstoppable if you don't feel insecure. You'll think that you can join anything and be part of anything. But then there will be a day where suddenly your body gives up. I remember my worst case was because I lived alone and my roommates would leave on the weekends. I'd be by myself, and then a fever struck. I had a 40-degree Celsius fever. I was bedridden, and one of the things that affected my highest moment, the student leader thing. So I was a block rep, and then on a Saturday was the elections for Frosh rep. But I missed the opportunity because I had to go to the hospital. And it really tells you that if you're a Frosh and you feel unstoppable, tell yourself then to take a break when you need to.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a student leader, even if you're an archi student, you can't pull an all-nighter 7 days a week. You need
People are
to
built different.
rest. Right?
Also, our course is very demanding as well. I can't imagine how hard it would be.
Was it hard to like transition from high school to college for you with that same mindset or like?
I think it wasn't because when I was in senior high, I was already a student leader. I was trying my best with my ACADS. That mentality kind of made me feel like, oh, I'm well adjusted for college.
Nice.
But then when one thing happened, it led to another, and then Suddenly, the pandemic happens and you're wondering, am I really good at architecture?
The question.
So you guys been talking about like orgs, mga, tapos like maybe your friends. What about the profs? Anyone can answer. Like, Frosh experience, profs, how are they different from maybe high school or whatever? Ano man pwede
Sige,
masabi?
I'll start.
Sige.
Sige. Well, as a Frosh, nakita ko na parang comparing sa high school ko and sa college, parang mas strict ata yung sa college eh. Kasi sa high school, like, parang, uy, okay lang, sige, you can pass, like, within this week, gano'n. Pero meron din yung iba yung parang, kahit personal pa yung reason mo, dapat talaga ipapasa mo na agad.
Yeah, totoo yun.
And syempre nakaka-pressure talaga yung mga ganun na profs. Pero there are also professors din na na-meet ko na mabait naman talaga and understanding and patient. Pero syempre, we shouldn't take advantage of the kindness yung prof na yun.
Yeah, I had a similar experience, Ren. Like, well, at least in my really first year in college, like in my ID course naman. Like, if I'm comparing like my profs here in college na compared to my teachers in high school, it feels a little bit more professional in a sense.
Yeah.
Not to discredit any of my teachers in high school. I actually really like my teachers in high school because they were like, they're like my second family. They were really like my other parents in a sense because I kept on seeing them every day.
Yeah.
But when I transitioned into college, it became more tense, I guess. But like my profs were like understanding. They were really helpful when I had like questions. You know, they really took the time aside to like really teach me personally. So like, when I was in ID naman, like I had this class. It's kind of like similar to Descom or like ArfCom. Now it was like drawing, but like technical drawing in ID. And I remember like Sir Pat, like I'm just gonna name drop. He was a really good prof. I really liked him, and like I learned a lot from him that I applied the things I learned from ID to Archi. And like he gave like really good points, like stuff that I really remembered talaga and really like probably like embodied, I guess. Like you know, like so every time I'm drawing something like in art, when I'm drawing floor plans, you know, it's stuck to me parang like I have to draw like this na like pero, like
transferring skills.
yeah, basically. But like the whole experience of learning in college now just felt more different or like a little bit different compared to like high school, but like the transition was pretty smooth basically.
But because the profs helped.
Yeah, the profs really helped.
Yeah.
Okay.
They understand that we come from high school and then they're trying to transition us as well into the college, parang how we would submit grades and work, how we do things. So I guess during our first years it was
Mas considerate.
more considerate and lets you really grow into college first.
True.
I also want to add din, kasi he also name drop na good prof. Kasi yung first term ko to second term, I have a prof named Sir Gabriel. And nung mga turo niya talaga napaka-abstract, napaka-out of this world. Yun. Parang di ko talaga maintindihan sa una. Parang, paano mo gagawin to? Parang, so dapat hindi basic shapes na gagawin. Basta, mga kapwa kong Frosh, maintindihan nila yan. And, pero nung third term na, and 2 arc na yung subject, may kami the topic na about theories. We have to make our own theory.
Yeah.
Yun. And, bigla ko naisip na, we should try na apply yung mga natuto ko kay Sir Gab, tapos apply it sa 2 arc. And I also have someone who helped me then to sa mga theories doon. And luckily, nagustuhan ni Sir yung flow ng ideas ko. So I'm really thankful kay Sir Gabriel. So nagthankful na PM pala ako rather. Nag-PM ako sa kanya na, Sir, thank you po so much dahil dami po talaga ako natuto sa inyo, pero kahit I find your subject really stressful. Sinabi ko talaga yun kay Sir. Na dami ko din natuto sa kanya. I'm really thankful for that.
It's true. There are some profs that really give us a hard time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like at the end of the class, we actually learned that we learned a lot.
Sip
Yeah.
lang pala, like, oh wait, I learned a lot.
Yeah, it was stressful. But like the things they teach you, it was difficult, but you will carry it on to other
Yeah.
classes eventually. It becomes a part of you already.
True.
And you'll be really grateful to the
Super
prof.
ingrained.
And then let's talk about what to look forward to, especially to our future Frosh and our people who are planning to go to Benilde
Yeah.
or for Archie in Benilde. What do you guys have any advice or thoughts you want to share? Kim, Daud.
Don Kim Anthony So.
For the audience, my name is Daud Kim. This guy's name is Kim. So, for any Froshes coming into Benilde, definitely one thing I can say is you have to initiate things. You don't just wait for things to happen. You can't just wait for your teacher to see you. You have to basically find the right time, respectfully present yourself, and then make sure you're initiating a conversation. Because when you've made a click with the prof that, oh, miss, I'm capable of designing this, or I'm capable of presenting this, or I'm capable of thinking of this, those are 3 different subjects. You could be one of the students that even if you're not a star student, you can just be someone you'll remember. Like, for example, in senior high, some faculty would sit you down to tell you that, oh, you're misbehaving or you're talking too much to your seatmate. In college, your faculty will give you time to consult, but then there will be rare moments where a faculty will sit you down just to tell you or give you a little note that someday you'll make it big.
Wow.
Yeah, there will be faculty that when they...
Confidence booster. Grabe.
Yeah.
There are faculty who genuinely believe in your capabilities. Especially if you're a Frosh and they see that you're trying really hard, they'll tell you na, oh, you remind me of a certain someone. And it's so funny because a certain prof of mine, I'll just say Miss Pompey, I remember this story. She said to me, Miss Pompey is one of the parang very motherly faculty, and she's one of the faculty that you should look out for, because in a world where it's chaotic and you're not very sure what pieces to pick up, there's at least one faculty who's gonna tell you na parang, oh, you can start with this one, and she's one of those. I remember, because every faculty would have generations of students, but Miss Pompey is one of those students that she told us a story of how she had one student. She wasn't the star student, but she was a good student, and everyone knew her because she was consistent in majority of her subjects. But then she had to stop, and it took her 7 years to finish the program. 7 years.
Wow.
This program, mind you, is just 4.5.
Yeah.
But because this student had to like contribute her time to taking care of her family who got sick, when she came back, every other faculty, not just Miss Pompey, was rooting for her. They were rooting for her to finish, and when she finished, they were also happy. And do you know why they were happy for her? Because she took the time to present herself as someone who tries really hard. Right? It may take a while for faculty to see you, but I swear when they see you, you'll feel like you're appreciated and acknowledged in any course.
Wow, what a great feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Daud na it's gonna take some time for the faculty to see you, because I'm in my 4th year and no one has seen me. Faculty. I'm kidding. But yeah, I definitely agree with everything that Daud said. Na parang take the initiative to learn things.
Yeah.
Kasi like, don't be like me. Proclaiming things. Really? Alam mo yun, parang it's okay to manifest, but manifest on your own time. Don't manifest with your friends kasi it's gonna just put you in a pedestal na you might fall off.
Yeah.
And because yun parang for me kasi like I feel like if I could do my Frosh year over again, I feel like I would have just done things first before I talk about them. Kasi if I start talking about them and then the pressure builds up and then I just crack under pressure and then walang nangyari, di ba? So ayun, parang I feel like if there's a task na you're really good at, do it first. Then let the work speak for itself.
That's true.
Also, parang if you think na you know a lot coming from like an arts and design track or like a design school or whatever, or like shifting, parang keep it to yourself and allow yourself to learn more kasi you're a Frosh student. Like everyone else knows more than you. And even if like even if you're like even if anak ka ng professional in that field, parang you do have the advantage, but you're not all that yet. Alam mo
Yeah.
yun? Parang
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
reason why in architecture school, like, you have to learn. Like, you also have to allow yourself to learn. Otherwise, parang sayang lang yung bayad. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
pumapasok ka lang para magkwentuhan.
I understand that because like I had difficulties also trying to understand like the point of view of a professor talking to me. Well,
Yeah.
I had like experience or advice from someone in the professional field already.
Yeah.
So I couldn't understand like how to understand where the professor was coming from because I had no
Exactly.
idea. But like if you have that kind of situation where you have a background and know stuff already and you don't understand what the professor is trying to talk to you, it doesn't take much effort to try and really talk to the professor and try to understand where he's coming from. Where you not only do you have this background already, but you also have this parang education that's coming from the professor, so you can really learn.
Yeah. Actually, I was really stuck in my own ways.
Yeah.
Because I was already like, in my head, I was like, I already know this stuff. You don't need to teach me other things, you know?
Yeah.
Tapos parang buti na lang nag-pandemic. I'm sorry because like in the pandemic, I grew and like my mindset changed and allowed me to just parang I parang accept the teachings that are being forced down my throat. Then allow the teaching that parang alam mo parang ino-offer naman kasi talaga ng each of the profs if you listen, ganun. Like, even if you don't like the professor, like you can listen and like you'll find something to learn.
Yeah.
So yan,
So-
kahit yung mga quote-unquote terror prof, hindi ako nagsabi. pero, yun, pero like you will learn like talaga.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, even just a little bit, pero you'll learn something if you just try to listen and ayun.
Be open-minded, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Razi?
Like,
What
What to look for?
what would you give as advice to future Frosh coming in? Like what are they
Advice?
to look forward to or should they avoid?
I guess this advice applies to not just Frosh, but like fresh high school graduates in general, or like those who are like entering college pa lang talaga. Is that really take the time to like really know yourself and really like contemplate on like what you really want to do in the future, and have like a clear goal in mind or like where you want to be like in 40 years or 50 years time, because that, for me that's like the thing that really helped me the most when I was going through with the whole shifting process from ID to Archi, because like I had since high school, since grade 10, I had my whole life already planned out now. So like
Oh wow.
I have something to look forward to when I'm 30, when I'm in 40. So like I have everything that I make, or like every decision I make from then on out was to get to where I want to be at that point. So like it made things a lot easier for me. So like whenever, for example, like when I was taking my entrance exams for college, I narrowed it down to Benilde and UST because they had RD courses, because my future that I wanted to have heavily revolved around being an architect. So, and fast forward to when I got into Benilde, I was super happy because I was following the decisions that I'm supposed to make.
Yeah.
I was heading towards my goal already. But when I was in ID, that kind of like became blurred, because I was at that point where I was kind of doubting my decision. I'm kind of happy naman in ID, I was making friends, I was getting good grades, I was happy with the plates that I was producing. But when I contemplated again and really reflected, like I have a clear goal already. But if I do take ID, like I don't know what I was gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna be like a product designer, if I'm gonna be a furniture designer.
Yeah.
So that really helped me with being confident with my decision, like to really commit to shifting. So, and when I got into Arkina as a Frosh again, I still had that goal in mind, Bren, at the back of my head. So like it made me more excited back to learn a lot of these new things. That was because I was finally in that position where like finally I'm in Arkina, like I can like learn the things I'm supposed to learn, So for me that's the best advice that I can get, is that to really find your passion, have a clear goal in mind, and so that every decision that you make from here on out is for you to get to that point where you want to be.
That was very concise actually. Very good advice. How about you, Iya?
Ay, ako pa?
As a Frosh right now, since you're the Froshes here.
Precious.
Wo-
Yes.
What advice would you give, especially since it's an online setting?
Mm,
Yeah.
Okay, una sa lahat.
Sorry.
Do not procrastinate. I repeat,
Ooh.
do not.
Very true.
Yes, kasi kahit mabait pa yung prof, kahit stricto pa yung prof, kahit madali lang yung ginagawa, do not procrastinate. Just do it lang.
Noted.
Just do it.
Just do it. And second, if naisip mo man na, uy, ang hirap naman tong course na to, gano'n, parang, ano ba tong tinitake ko, gano'n. Isipin mo bakit architecture na take mo. Isipin mo yun. And, isipin mo din na hindi lahat madali sa buhay. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
Kasi, I mean, tingnan mo naman yung mga babies nahihirapan maglakad, magsalita, di ba? And, syempre, what more in the future kapag adults tayo, di ba? Kapag college, di ba? And, I keep on saying, di ba?
Oo na.
But, pero ayun nga, you shouldn't, parang see those challenges lightly. Parang, sige, okay lang yan. Gawin ko na lang to bukas. Again, procrastinate, do not.
Do not
And, pangatlo, I just want to remind the Frosh, and not only the Frosh, but also everyone then who is watching, na it's okay to not be okay. Na if, halimbawa, na burnout ka, if, parang gusto mo mag-break na gusto mo umiyak, ganun. Okay, take the time to cry, to let it out, to let it all out. Kasi if you're going to, parang, keep it inside, and while you're doing your requirements, syempre parang,
Mas yung repeat, umiiyak ka.
Drafting.
like, sir, make of anong may tears. Pero, ayun nga, pero seryoso, like, nawala tuloy na sa isip. Okay. Ayun nga, if you're going to keep it in, yung mga emotions that you have inside, and the thoughts that you have, with tapos not choosing to let it out, or finding help, edi, mayayari sa results mo, di ba? Like, what more in the future if you're going to keep it as a habit?
Yeah.
Parang, okay, I'm not okay. Pero okay lang, sige lang. I have to continue this kasi may pa ako bukas. May gagawin pa ako bukas yung deadline na ito, mamaya agad. Kahit 5 minutes lang, kahit 15 minutes, kahit lang, you just need to take a break at first.
Yeah.
Just breathe lang and just
self-care.
Yeah,
Wellness.
self-care.
Wellness of the mind.
Kahit nakaka-stressful talaga yung course, tignan mo din na ano yung purpose, bakit yun yung pinili mo course.
Yeah.
And like what Razi said, na dahil you have to be be
Like certain.
certain kung ano yung decision mo talaga sa course. Kasi malay mo, di ba?
Mm.
Parang, okay, ID pala nakuha ko, or RT pala, pero gusto mo pala business. Parang, o di ang layo. Pero, gets yun naman yung bibig ko sabihin.
Yeah. To have a clear goal in
Yeah,
mind
clear goal.
for that passion to keep moving forward.
Easy.
Yeah. It's great advice given by our guests here today. Definitely, I learned so much, and I hope all our viewers were able to learn also. Did you learn anything?
Well, first of all, I learned from Kim na you really have to be open. I can relate to him kasi I feel like ganun din ako dati. I'll be like, alam ko yan. I won't listen, mute kasi. Parang ganun. Pero, now that I think about, parang tama nga. Like, you have to be open-minded. Kahit, like, there's one thing in that class you learn, okay na yun.
Yeah, actually.
That's fine.
Out of that 3-hour class, you only took one thing from it. But that one thing could have saved your entire...
Yeah. Or kahit the term nga mismo. Like,
Yeah.
That's
What
fine
did the entire time you've been studying architecture? What's that term? And then that one little second your prof explains it. But I also shared great sentiment to what Iya and Razi shared of having a clear goal. Because for me, Archi wasn't my first choice, to be honest. But I was able to not have that kind of blur setting that Razi was talking about. I was able to connect Archipper into where I wanted to be in the next 40 years. And having that in mind, I was able to push myself into the passion and I really was able to put myself in the shoes to go forward in
That's true.
architecture.
Yeah.
Or if you like, if you, you have to follow through with your plan. Pero minsan, life will throw you something.
That's
So don't
true.
stress out, kasi that's normal talaga. Your life is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
One thing you know
Sometimes-
you're arty, and the next
Yeah.
thing something else.
Yeah, sometimes so you were placed in archi by accident, and later on you find out it's where you're supposed to be, and like the struggles you go through is where you're supposed to be.
Tama.
So you can really learn and grow as a studying to be an architect. Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much to our beautiful
Thank you.
and lovely guests here
Salamat.
today. Yes, let's hear it for our guests coming here today. And to show our appreciation, we have tokens for them. If you look under your chairs,
What? Oh my god!
Oh,
yes, yeah.
Oh,
Check
yeah.
even our host. So this, please accept our tokens of appreciation for joining us here today as our guest for our very first Saga episode, Saga Studio episode.
Uy, laptop!
Ito rice meal, pagbukas mo.
Ito siya.
Thank you so much to all our viewers here today for watching the very first pilot episode of Saga Studio. And please join us for next week, next weekend, Saturday, same time, for our next episode, which will be Benildean projects in architecture. So we'll be having guests here sharing about their projects in architecture from current students, and maybe we'll invite guests that are alumni as well to share their projects. So definitely something you want to tune in to
That's
learn new things and maybe find new inspiration for your future projects.
Yeah, so don't forget to like and follow our social media para magabang kayo for
Yes.
our posting. When? Perhaps? Who knows?
Alright,
Stay tuned.
yeah. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and tune in next time. See y'all real soon.
Thank you.